Welcome back, boxing fans, to another great show with Sean on Boxing. So I heard some narrative today about how non-black fighters consistently get opportunities to redeem themselves. Because, of course, people are hoping Ken Shiro gets a rematch with the fighter that he just got beat by, Sandoval, which I can't understand why this is a topic of discussion. I mean, didn't Tank Davis, who arguably lost to Lamont Roach, wasn't he being pushed into a rematch position with Lamont Roach, something we're still waiting for? Isn't that natural? Isn't that normal? But for Ken Shiro to get a rematch in a controversial fight that easily could have went his way, him being the only fighter that scored a knockdown in that fight, and then having an outrageous card of 117, 110, he doesn't deserve an opportunity to redeem himself. I mean, Errol Spence was supposed to get an opportunity to redeem himself against Bud Crawford, but it was Errol Spence that turned down that opportunity and has yet to come back into boxing and try to redeem himself. Deontay Wilder got knocked out by Tyson Fury. He got a third crack at the wheel to try to redeem himself against Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz. He got an opportunity to redeem himself against Andy Ruiz. Then again, he lost to Alexander Usyk and had an opportunity to redeem himself against Alexander Usyk. So you can see the pattern. These are all black fighters that when they got beat, they all had opportunities to come back and try to redeem themselves. So what's the difference? Unlike a Lomachenko, who got beat in a controversial fight to Devin Haney and didn't get an opportunity to redeem himself. Or he lost to Teofimo Lopez and didn't get an opportunity to redeem himself. Both of those fighters chose to jump up to 140 pounds and not rematch Lomachenko. Okay. Right? Like, trying to make this into a race issue blows up in your face because of the constant fucking bullshit. You will talk about all these fighters that had opportunities to bounce back, but then you ignore the whole story as I just laid it out for you. And I could give you multiple examples, tons of examples of black American fighters getting opportunities to redeem themselves after a loss. O'Shaquie Foster just lost his title to Kansikow. He got an opportunity to redeem himself in a rematch, which he ended up winning. Again, a black American fighter getting an opportunity to redeem himself after a loss. So I don't understand this whole race thing, acting as if somehow black fighters don't get the opportunities like non-black fighters do. What are you talking about? Of course they do. I just gave you several examples. I mean, Charlo ended up losing to fucking Tony Harrison. He ended up getting an opportunity to redeem himself and win back his titles. And then arguably, he lost to fucking Castano. I mean, I know it was a draw, but most people feel that Castano beat him in the first fight. He had an opportunity to once again redeem himself by fighting Castano. Here's more opportunities of black American fighters after poor performances getting an opportunity to jump right back in there and redeem themselves against the opponent that beat them. So I don't quite understand this whole narrative. I don't get where somehow black fighters aren't being given the opportunities, but everybody else is, even though I showed you several examples when that's completely not true, and other people didn't get the opportunity to redeem themselves. I mean, Beterbiev just got beat by Bivol, and it looks like he's not going to get an opportunity to redeem himself, even though Bivol did get an opportunity to redeem himself. So once again, a non-black fighter being fucked over and not being given an opportunity to redeem himself. I mean, this stuff is comical. I could go on all fucking day and give you examples, but I don't need to because I'm not here trying to make this about race. I'm not the one that shit on Devin Haney and said that he didn't belong in the conversation for pound, unlike people that have been shitting on Ken Shiro Taraji and trying to demean him and Junto Nakatani and try to act as if somehow they shouldn't be considered pound for pound top 10 fighters, or even in the conversation. You may not have them in top 10, but they're in the conversation regardless, so they should be at least in the top 15, right? But to demean them, to dismiss their opponents and their opposition, even though Kenshiro Teraji has faced far more world champions than Devin Haney has. He's had far more world title fights than Devin Haney has. He's had far more world title defenses than Devin Haney has. He's had far more knockout wins against world champions than Devin Haney has. I know Devin Haney isn't that old. He's what, 26? So obviously he's younger than Kenshiro Teraji. But that doesn't dismiss Kenshiro Teraji from getting an opportunity to bounce back after a controversial loss to Sandoval in one of the best fights of 2025. Like, why do we need to somehow dismiss and downplay him, all the hype up and build up a black American fighter? Right? This is consistently what we see on YouTube. Guys use non-black fighters, shitting on them, dismissing their resume and their accomplishments, all to try to hype up black American fighters. I mean, it's cool that you want to support black fighters, but you don't need to shit on everyone else in the process. I don't need to come here and shit on Devin Haney's resume to hype up Kenshiro Teraji, because I actually follow the sport of boxing and I'm quite aware of both of their accomplishments and their resumes. Obviously, Devin Haney is a two-weight world champion, not unified in two weight divisions, only unified in one. Kenshiro Teraji is a two-weight world champion who's been unified in two divisions. Sure, he wasn't undisputed, but he had 3 titles at 108 pounds, not quite the 4th, because he was blatantly ducked by Gonzalez, who had the 4th belt. But he could have easily been undisputed, just like Devin Haney. And then he just recently moved up to 112 and just recently unified titles at that weight class, something Devin Haney didn't do, failed to do, because he literally took a fucking year off after the fight with Ryan Garcia. No one forced him to take a year off. That was his choice. And then he came back and didn't fight for a world title at 140. He fought at a catch weight. And now he's going to fight for a world title at 147. And people are praising him for taking on a very good opponent. No one needs to shit on him and downplay him. If he beats Norman to become a 3-weight world champion, that shit's legitimate. That's a fucking great win. Just like the Pro Grace win was a great win. Just like the Lomachenko, even though highly controversial, was obviously a great win as well. So there's 3 great wins at 3 different weights for Devin Haney. See, I don't need to shit on a foundational black fighter to build up a non-black fighter. I can let each fighter's accomplishments ride. And the reality is, yeah, Devin Haney was literally just getting an opportunity on that fight card, fighting Ramirez, to redeem himself against Ryan Garcia. And people were cool with it, were pushing for it, understood the motivation behind it. So nobody was trying to stop Devin Haney from getting a Ryan Garcia rematch, just the opposite. Unfortunately, it didn't work out quite the way everybody was hoping. But that's not because people weren't trying to allow Devin Haney the chance to beat Ryan Garcia in a rematch. So what's the issue with Kenshiro bouncing back, getting an opportunity to redeem himself against Sandoval? And it doesn't even mean he's going to get the chance. It's just boxing fans understand that he deserves an opportunity. He gave Sandoval an opportunity. Sandoval fought great. So in turn, Kenshiro Teraji deserves an opportunity as well, especially in a fight that was that competitive and that close and easily could have went his way. If the shoe was under their foot, I'm sure many haters would be out there saying that Sandoval deserves an opportunity to redeem himself versus Kenshiro Teraji, just like Lamont Roach deserves a chance against Tank Davis.